Hey, greetings, family. What's up? This is Chief Skywalker, Chief Kalanago up in the building. Family, give me a second. Let me just make sure that I do have a live feed so I could open up the chat. We going in today. We are going in. It's been a while. Needed to do this video, but I'm gonna give a few people just some time to get on the live chat. Hope everybody's having a great day. Give me a second. Let me just check my live feed. All right. I know we got some of the moderators in here. You know, I'm getting used to the lingo, the term. So let's make it happen. All right, there we go. Let me just check my live feed, family. Give me a second. Make sure I got volume. Okay, stream is starting soon. All righty. Okay. Hope everybody's doing good so far. Give me a second, please. Bear with me. Let me just get this. All right. Hey, fam, let me know if you guys are hearing me, all right? Because I can't really check on my feed because it's saying that the feed would start soon, but for some reason it's telling me that I'm live. But let me type something in the chat and let me know if you guys get this, all right? So we could get this topic going. It's a hot topic. It's a hot button today. You know, we're gonna talk about the concept of polygamy and monogamy, and let's see what we come up with. Damn, the chat. All right, family. I need a little signal. Let me know if you guys are hearing me, because I can't hear myself, and I really don't know if I'm live. So please, if somebody could give me a signal in the chat, let me know if they could hear me. Please, that would be great. I would appreciate that. Giving some more people some time to get in, get on, while we waiting. I need some feedback, please, if you don't mind. Okay. All right, folks. Here we go. How are we doing today? I'm just waiting for somebody to get on the live chat. Let me know if they could hear me. That's all, because I can't hear myself, and it's telling me that the live stream will start soon. So I need to know if I'm live. So somebody help me out here a little bit, please. All right. Yeah. All right. Beautiful. So you guys so you can hear me then. All right. I just want to know if you could hear me. Let me know real quick. And once again, family, I hope you guys participate in the conversation. You know, the live chat is open, and you know, give your opinion, give your perspective. I'm gonna speak about you know, polygamy and monogamy, more so polygamy, but because, you know, I guess everybody's so programmed, you know, to the whole concept of what they call monogamy. So we're really gonna spend a lot of time on polygamy, but again, those are my thoughts on it, and my opinions. And of course, I would like to know yours as well. You know, so after I do the presentation, I would love to interact with you guys so we could talk a little more about it. That would be great. So I'm still waiting to know if you guys can hear me. That's all I'm waiting on right now. Like, that's all, pretty much. All right. I'm just waiting to see if you could hear me. I just need to know. All right. I still don't have a clue yet. Please help me out here. Okay. Okay, good. All right. Beautiful. I think I'm good to go. All right, perfect. Great. Hi, I like this topic. Hey guys, welcome. What's up? What's up? What's up? It's a beautiful day today, and we're gonna good. Everybody's good, so we're gonna get into this. Hey, what's up, John, Nigel, Janae, peace and love, and let's get into this. All right. So first of all, I always like to get into the etymology of words, because we all know that English wasn't our original language. At least I don't think so. And a lot of those words, they have origins, okay? And I was looking at the etymology of the word polygamy, and we pretty much have an idea of, what it really means. Hey, Sherry, what's up, twins? What's up? What's up? Peace and love. Brother Malik, peace, greetings. Okay. And what was kind of, surprising to me was the word polygamy actually was created based on the findings in the etymology before monogamy. So I'm not gonna, assume anything just yet. But however, it says that, polygamy recorded since 1591, and we're gonna give the meaning, the noun. It says the having of multiple socially bonded sexual partners at the same time. All right. So originally, it's saying that the having of multiple socially bonded sexual partners at the same time. All right. Now I look at the etymology of bonded, and then I got to bind. And when I look at the etymology of to bind, it's basically, it's really to capture, captivate, tie. That's pretty much what it is. So it's a bond. Okay. So it didn't really say having multiple wives, but it says multiple partners. And I assume later they translate that into having wives. So just on that term alone, we have an understanding of what polygamy is. Now let's talk about monogamy, because first let's get that out of the way. We know what it is: the practice of one man and one woman together, or one woman and one man together. And that seems to be the norm in today's society, or what they call civilized societies. Okay. But what's really ironic to me is they use the term, okay, let me just break this down again. And it also says originally polygamy could work either or both ways, but civilization generally forbids simultaneous husbands. So back in the day, based on what I'm reading, it is saying that men used to have more, it was okay for a man to have more than one woman or sexual partner or wife, and it was also okay for a woman to have more than one husband or partners. But because of civilization, in other words, in the civilized world, they were saying that they forbade women to have more than simultaneous husbands or more than one husband. All right, civilized. So let's look at the word civilized. When the conquerors came to our shores, they call us savages, right? They called us savages, and they said they had to civilize us. Okay, so if monogamy is a civilized practice, then is it safe to assume that polygamy is an uncivilized practice? Because when they came, they called us savages. Okay, and I'm talking about the American Aborigines, the Indians. Okay, today they still call the Caribs, they say they call them Caribs because they were cannibals, but we all know that's a bunch of BS. That's another conversation. However, they say that we were not civilized, but they consider monogamy something civilized. So is it safe to say again that polygamy was considered uncivilized? All right, now I'm just showing you the play on words and the trickery of the colonizers. Okay, now this is what I'm going to do here. when we go a little further down, and I'm using Wikipedia, okay? When we go a little further down, I'm seeing some translations, and it says the having of plurality of socially bonded sexual partners at the same time, polygamy. In zoology or zoology is the state of habit of having more than one mate. And also in botany, which is dealing with plants, the condition or state of a plant which bears both perfect and unisexual flowers. But this is what I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask Google this question and pay attention to this, okay? Do animals practice polygamy?
According to Mental Floss, only about 3% of mammals are socially monogamous, but leave it to beavers to show us how it's done. After mating, the rodents spend as much time maintaining their relationships as they do their dams and lodges. The males and females co-parent their young and stay together until one partner dies.
Okay. All right, it shows me monogamy. I'm doing polygamy, sorry. Give me a second. Do animals practice polygamy? Do animals practice polygamy? Bear with me, family. Bear with me, please. All right. So it is basically saying that, right? In nature, that's what it's saying, okay? In nature, what they call mammals, okay? Now, some people say that they are not mammals. I'm not here to, discuss whether we are mammals or not. But we're looking at nature here for a whole, right? In nature, the common practice, okay, in nature, based on their studies, it's polygamy, all right? Now, that is their study based on their word. They created the word and they're telling you what it is in nature. Now, again, some people may say, well, that's an opinion, and that could be true. But however, I grew up in the Caribbean, and I grew up pretty much in the countryside, and I have seen a lot of animals, and we had a lot of, we had a few animals, right? And we had a lot of chickens. And you have a male chicken, which is called a rooster, or we call it a cock, right? That's kind of funny, cock. But anyway, what I realize is this. A lot of the roosters, they would just go hop on females. So that's a form of polygamy, right? From a male rooster perspective. But also, the female also allow other male chickens, to jump on her. That's another form of polygamy. Also, when Ben Franklin wrote an essay he wrote an essay when they were coming to America, all right, in about increasing the races. What was so, interesting to me was this. In Europe, they didn't seem to have much of a practice of polygamy. As a matter of fact, they didn't have much of a practice of even having a lot of children. But however, when they were coming into the Americas, they had a plan, okay? And the plan was to, to populate or outpopulate the Indians. So he came up with an essay, a plan, all right, telling them when they go into America, they have to marry more. And if they were having 4 children in Europe, then they would have 8 in the Americas. So when they came here, they called us, savages, and they made us civilized. To my understanding, they took away that practice from us to cut down on our, multiplying. You see what I'm saying? And they picked up that practice because, as you could see, that is something they were practicing in the early stages of them conquering us. I'm going somewhere with this because the reason why it's because I've been looking at a few YouTube videos and I see a few sisters talking about polygamy. I see a few brothers talking about it. And a lot of people are making it seem like, it's foreign or it's illegal. It's illegal or it's just something immoral. But My opinion is this: the world have always been, through inception, okay, has always been a polygamous system. It has always been that way. You feel me? Because people felt the need to multiply, and it has always been that way. And it's vice versa. You had women who were having more than one husband, and you had men who were having more than one wives. But because the systems were becoming more, of a patriarchal society, they took those privileges or those rights those women had and made it a little less common for them to have more than one husband, where it was okay for a man to have more than one wife. You feel me? And my purpose for having this conversation today is because I believe that in order for us to rebuild structures and to rebuild ourselves, I think that we have to learn to be fruitful and multiply again. Now, again, this is just my opinion. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I am not saying that our children or this generation is done for. I am not saying that. There may be still hope. But I believe that there needs to be a new breed of children, okay? A new breed of children that has to come into the fold. Because it seems that the ones that are here right now is going to take a lot of work. Even some of the adults, and no disrespect to the adults, some of the adults are way gone. You feel me? Mark says, we need a better topic. There is to become man with one woman. He says, say that again. In nature, they also, in nature, I'll put it this way, right? Nature is what it is. Okay, nature is what it is. Nature came before man based on our understanding. And I would agree with that concept only because we depend on nature for survival. Okay, so we cannot criticize nature. For you to criticize nature is to criticize the creator. So MG42, you know what? I'm not going to criticize nature. And to me, this is a great topic. You know what I mean? So whatever is in nature, it is what it is. I cannot criticize that. I'm just looking at what it is. You feel me? I'm just looking at what it is. All right. So we weren't cannibals. I will tell you that much. We were not cannibals. That's what they classified us as. Okay. So that they could find an excuse for them to do what they did to our people. But that's a whole different conversation. So I'm not going to get into that. It's the same way they teach the world that the blacks and African Americans in America are savages. So when they shoot them in the streets, the world will not sympathize. There is nothing new under the sun. It's the same old tactic. All right. But I'm going back to nature here for a second. All right. Going back to nature. And with me growing into my understanding of things, I have to look at the relationship between a man and a woman and what is the purpose of a man and a woman. Now, I'm going to use the word God here for argument's sake. I don't call myself a God because the word God is not a noun. Okay, it's an action word, means to evoke. But however, people are used to that word, so I'm going to call what you call God. Okay. A lot of people say that the black woman is God. Now, if we're going to use God as a noun, that wouldn't be an incorrect statement. However, it is also a sign of perpetuating division when you just say the black woman is God, well, the so-called black woman is God, and yet still don't say that the so-called black man is God. You see, because literally, we are an extension of what you call God. We are the physical manifestation of what you call God. Just like a tree is a physical manifestation of what you call God. Those are all just characteristics of the whole. Okay? Those are just characteristics of the whole. And in what you call the Godhead, all right, the source, the female principle is the creative aspect of the all. That is the creative aspect of the all. All right. So in essence, we are both manifestations of what you call God. So I don't think we should put one over the over the other, because we all have a role to play. All right. I remember having a conversation, with a chief, and we always go back and forth, talking on different topics, and the topics are always enlightening, and we always go back and forth. And I remember talking to her about, the seed is in the man, that the woman is just the womb that carries the seed, and then the seed is actually the man. And she made a few great points, and I had to reflect on it for a second, because I was under the impression, or I guess based on, growing up and what we see in society, I thought that the seed was actually in me, because I'm thinking, because I have testicles, the testicles, which you call nuts, is actually the seed. But then when she broke it down to me, it kind of made sense, because the testicles is not the seed. All the man really has is the sperm, and sperm is fluid, so therefore it's not a seed. The seed is actually in the woman. And she must be watching. Hey, I gotta say, you know what, you were right. The seed is in the woman, you see. Okay, so the life is in the woman. However, to fertilize that life, the man have to fertilize that egg or that seed. And it made perfect sense, because again, I was thinking the man had the seed because we had what we call testicles, and we call that our seed. But is it really our seed though? You see, we are just watering that seed so that it could grow. You feel me? So that's what we're really doing. And if the woman is a representation of Mother Earth, and she is, I guess it's safe to say that she's the soil. All right, she's the soil. And the man is the fertilizer of that soil. So based on that alone, in essence, it is telling you that nature has a polygamous relationship based on that analogy alone. What I realize is this: people have gotten feelings and emotions, and we adapted the concept of you belong to me, you are mine, this is my, this is mine. That selfish nature. No, I'm not saying people being in a monogamous relationship is selfish, or being in a polygamous relationship is unselfish, or vice versa. To me, it's a matter of choice. Okay, some may even bring up the argument that everything has structure for once. Everything has structure, whether you believe in a monogamous relationship or polygamous relationship. At the ending of the day, there has to be some form of structure, because we are not practicing polygamy these days. And look at the rate of divorce. Look at the rate of divorce, but yet still we are not practicing that. So it has nothing to do with, not having a good job or not having a home. No, it has nothing to do with that. I believe that even in monogamous relationships, okay, you could have all the money in the world and your relationship could still be on rocky grounds. It could still be some of the most brutal relationships that you have ever heard of in a monogamous situation. So I really don't think a successful polygamous relationship is contingent on how much money you have, or do you have a house. I believe all relationships is based on communication and what you call understanding, but I'm going to say understanding. I believe that's what it is. You know what I mean? But I have never seen, now I'm not, the only time I've really seen animals get possessive really is when it comes to their mates. It's when it's about mating season and they give out these pheromones, this scents, and the male get overprotective, but in nature, what I have seen is this: females get it from various different males, and males get it from different various females, you know? And I was thinking, how is it that if the world, if the world was just, monogamous, all right, how could it be that we have all these people in the world? If each man was just by himself and each woman was just by herself, I think they had both communities. They had monogamous communities and they had what you call polygamous communities. And again, it was a matter of understanding. All right. And I also mentioned that it's in a man's nature to have more than one mate. It may be also in the female's nature as well. But what we were taught, or what a lot of times, a lot of our behaviors, okay, is a reaction of what we were taught, the environments that we grew up in, the culture. So I believe that that culture was taken away from us. And again, that's my personal opinion. I believe that culture was taken away from us to put us in that situation, okay, where for one, we could stop producing, and number two, they taught our people how to disrespect even that woman in a monogamous relationship, so we wouldn't have, productive families and productive children, and we will not reproduce. I mean, remember, the oppressors, the colonizers, all this is a part of what you call warfare. And the depopulation is a part of warfare as well. If I could cut you from reproducing, from producing, then that means I could pick up from your devolution and pick up what I saw you doing, which is practicing polygamy, and so that I could pass or surpass you in production. That's just what I'm seeing and what I've seen based on research that I've done studying the mind of the colonizers. Because everything that they tell you is not good, they took it from us and they practice it and use it against us. All right. So I believe that the whole concept of saying that it's immoral, that came from the colonizers. Because if you look at them, they are practicing it, but they're telling you it's wrong. And like I said before, I believe that it's in every man's nature or every woman's nature too to have more than one mate. It's just that because of emotions, we get emotional, we get attached, you fall in love with people, and then you get possessive. But realistically, no one belongs to any one person. Okay? Your girl don't belong to you. She's not your possession. And so does your man. Your man don't belong to you. He's not your possession. Now, if you guys agree to go into a bond or a contract or a bind, okay, and you have some type of commitment, then you have to, I believe that you have to put your, how would you put it? You have to make your intentions very clear from the beginning. Very clear from the beginning. Because how many women, right, how many women have boyfriends and they say, that's my babe, that's my boo, and they still messing around on the side? Or if they're not doing it physically, they are thinking about it. Because a lot of times we cannot control our thoughts. The thought may come, and then you may say, okay, you know what, damn, I got to fall back from that. I got my boo, I can't even go there. But the mere fact that you even thought about it, you have already cheated, because you have already committed what's called polygamy in the spiritual realm. Now, you just didn't allow it to manifest in the physical, if we really want to be technical about it. Okay, so to me, the only way to really not practice polygamy is to control your thoughts totally and not even think about another man or another woman. And that's kind of a hard thing to do. I'm not saying it's impossible, but that's kind of tough. That is kind of tough. And people are in polygamous relationships all their lives and they don't know. They don't know because you know what? They were taught that this is something immoral or it's illegal. You can't do that. You're not supposed to. But the nature of a man, okay, that's what it is. And I tell folks, just be honest. Just be honest. If this is something that you can't deal with, then you can't deal with it. Okay? And some people can't deal with it. Okay? But how many, and let's just look at it from a different perspective, right? If one man or one woman decide that I'm only going to have one boyfriend or one girlfriend. And let's just say it didn't work out. And then next year, you have another boyfriend or another girlfriend. It didn't work out. The next year, you have another boyfriend or another girlfriend. I mean, to me, what is the sense of that? In a sense, that's literally, yes, you may have one boyfriend, one girlfriend at that time, but a different boyfriend, a different girlfriend every single year. I mean, let's think about it. You know, so we have to be honest with ourselves. You know, I believe that we have to be honest with ourselves and have an open discussion. Now, I am not saying that so we could use that as an excuse for men to say, whoa, man, I could have more than one booty. No, it's not about that. Okay. I personally believe that we are not giving our women enough credit. And that's just my opinion, because women are the ones who literally create the laws. Okay, women are the one that create the laws. We the men, we enforce it. Now, a lot of times we the men really think we run things. Fellas, I'm gonna tell you, you know, sometimes my attitude may come off like I have an ego, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes I gotta keep it real to myself. I cannot lie to myself. You know, the woman is what creates balance. She is what creates balance. Okay, and I do believe that the reason why we are having a lot of situations is because people are not allowing the woman to take her proper place in society, in our societies, because we have been taught so much to degrade our women, put them down. And I'm not saying that because it sounds good. I'm being totally honest with that, because I have to think and meditate a little bit before I do this video, you know. And I know when I speak to you know, one of the chiefs that I always talk to, she's gonna be like, whoa, you know, you said some things I didn't expect. But you know what? I had to meditate on that for a second. And I tell myself, like, I always want to be real when I come do these videos. I always want to be real. I always want to keep it 100, you know. And I do believe that polygamy is something that's needed right now. For me, from my perspective, I totally, again, you know, it's a word that they created, so I'm going to use that. But it has always been there. And for me, this is something I believe in. That's something that I have done in my previous life. I have done it. And I'll keep it real like this, right? If I were to be in a relationship right now, because this August is going to give it 3 years since I've been celibate, and that's the honest truth. Okay, it's been 3 years, and it has been a spiritual journey for me. You know, it wasn't too much of a challenge because I have a very strong mind. If I tell myself I want to do something, I'm going to do it. So the first few months, you know, of course, it was a little challenging, but after that, it was just a breeze because I just wasn't thinking about it like that. I needed a spiritual purge, because when I started growing into my knowledge of self, I realized that, you know, sleeping with that woman and that woman and that woman, I was getting into contracts and bonds and binds that may have had some type of karma to it. Because a lot of people, when you sleep with people, you are also sleeping with the energy. You are not just sleeping with the physical. You're also sleeping and binding with the spiritual. And a lot of times we don't know what type of, you know, karmic debt or karmic, you know, chaos those people are in, or what type of energy that they have. And here you are, you know, you got this, you know, you inside this woman, you inside this man, in this woman, and she got all this, you know, negative energy inside of her, and that's being attached to your karma. Vice versa. A lot of women just allow all these different men to go with them inside of them and think it's just a physical thing. It is not just a physical thing. It's also a spiritual thing. So I felt the need to take a break and purge myself. Okay, purge myself and be celibate. And I said that my goal was 3 years. So August is gonna give it 3 years. So now after August, yo, it's on, son. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. No, I'm not playing. I'm just playing. But anyway, family, the point I'm trying to make is this, right? If after August I do decide that, you know what, I want to get into a relationship, it's all about being honest and keeping it open. I will let the woman know that, you know, this is what I believe in. All right, this is what I believe in. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to keep it real with you. I don't believe in what's called cheating. That's what the Caucasian man made up to make us feel guilty of what we used to practice. Okay? I don't believe in a word called cheating, but I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm gonna have other women. Now you call it what you want. You could call it the Caucasian man name if you want, call it cheating. That's on you, but I don't call it cheating. I call it nature, the nature of me. And I can't speak for no other man. I could only speak for me, because you see, realness is what it is. I tell people, if we keep it real with people, they will have more of an understanding and respect for you than you give them credit for. And it's vice versa. If a woman feel that, you know what, she don't want to be in a situation where she just want to be with one man, there has to be some type of understanding and structure. Now, with that being said, I do believe that there has to be some structure. Don't get me wrong, because first, if we look at nature and we look at the creator, let's look at the source. What did the source do? The source is an energy. And when the source became aware, okay, the source manifest, created the sun and the moon, which is the mother of the earth, created the earth. And then what did the earth do? The earth created life. The earth created life, right? That's the home. So a home always had to be prepared. A home always had to be prepared. So the source created the first home, okay, which was the sun and the moon. The sun and the moon had to create another home. You see, there was step to this. Created the earth, and the earth was the home for the manifestation of the gods in the flesh. And again, I'm using the word God very lightly here. So I am not saying that just go around having a whole lot of women without a place to stay, you know, without ways of sustaining your family. I am not saying that. I'm not insinuating that. Okay, you don't need to be in a polygamous relationship for that. You could just continue being a dog. That's what it's called. But there has to be a structure. There has to be a structure. You have to be at least able to have a home, you know, where you talk to your woman or your wife, whatever you want to call her, and say, listen, you know what, this is what we are doing. We are building. Okay, it's necessary for our future. All right, it is necessary, because this is what it's all about, leaving a legacy. It's all about leaving a legacy. And to say that it's not moral, or it's illegal, or it's not right, or it wasn't in nature, to me, that's being biased. To me, that's coming from a selfish perspective, you know, where people want to claim people. And a lot of people always use circumstances, all right, when it benefits them, but don't want to see the real, you know. So to me, at the end of the day, it's to each his own. What can you deal with? What can you deal with? Now that you are in a monogamous relationship, then you should never cheat, because that's what you committed to. Don't get into a monogamous relationship and you got a man on the side or you got a woman on the side. Don't get into a monogamous relationship where even if you didn't do the physical act, but you over here fantasizing about somebody else. That is also called cheating, because you are doing it mentally, which is spiritually. And to me, that's even worse. But it can't be worse, because it's the same thing anyway. You feel me? But what I'm saying is, we have to keep it real with ourselves. We have to keep it real with ourselves. And here's another reason why, you know, I am for polygamy. Okay? And I'm not taking anything away from our women, because I hold our women in the very high esteem. Okay? But for some reason, I can't say that it has always been this way, because I don't know for a fact. A lot of the information that we have, it's mere speculation and what we are getting from different sources outside of ourselves. But based on what we are seeing at this current moment in our elevation or our growth, we see that the majority, now it may not be all women, some women may possibly make a baby at the age of 50, because it's possible, 55, but let's just speak of the majority based on what we know. Based on the majority, women seem to have a cutoff age in having children. They seem to have a cutoff age in having children. So let us look at a scenario here. What if me, a guy that believe in his heart that he should practice polygamy, and then he say, you know, just because I don't want to be ostracized, or I don't want people to look at me in a negative fashion, I'm gonna ignore my nature or what's natural to me, and I'm gonna get into a monogamous relationship. Yes, I love my woman, I'm with her, I have 1 or 2 children. And here we are, she turns 50 or 52, 53, and she goes into menopause. And then her eggs dry up. Unfortunately, that's what it is. And again, that's not to put down our women. So I'm just letting you know, I'm speaking of what we have seen. Okay? Now, what if my wife cannot have any more babies, but yet still it's in me to keep on watering those seeds and producing? A man could continue to water the seed or the plant up to the age of until he dies. So does that mean that I should deviate from my spiritual growth or my legacy, creating my legacy, just because I have a woman that's selfish? Just because she can't have more babies, I'm not supposed to have more babies when I'm 60 or when I'm 70 because I'm still capable of doing that? Now, do you think that's fair to me? And it's a logical question. It is a logical question, you know, because I want to have a lot of children. And what if I get into a monogamous relationship and at 54, she can't have no more children? What am I supposed to do? Be in the relationship mad at her because I can't have more children because I have to water some more seeds? So now I'm in a relationship where I'm bitter. I'm showing resentment because I feel an obligation that not to cheat. So those are just my arguments for polygamy. We know what monogamy is. You know what I'm saying? We know what it is. You feel me? Sis said, when a woman is in tune with her divine feminine energy, she can give birth well into her older years. That's possible. I'm not disputing that. And you may be absolutely right. You know, I believe that a lot of our, well, not just women, a lot of us on a whole, you know, we lost a lot of our capabilities, which I think, eventually, we could get back into, because it's about, again, ascending, even about ascending. Hey, what's up, family? Everybody who said hi, hey, what's up? The sis said, even if your wife can have babies, she can appreciate a sister wife to assist the family. Absolutely. Because my thing is this, right? We were taught to not believe that we can't get along with each other. That's what they taught us. They taught us that we shouldn't, again, build. That's what they taught us. You feel me? That's what they taught us. Now, I'm going, and I'm not just saying that to say, I believe that any nation is as great, or the height of a nation depends, or is as great, it depends on the height of the women. I personally believe that. That's just real talk. Because without her, there wouldn't be anybody on this planet. You know what I'm saying? So I believe that, and based on my research, I know women were the ones who created civilization. All right? Now, I would rather be in a relationship with 1, 2, 3 women who got it together, because that would make me great. You feel me? That would make my generation great. You feel me? Because I believe that if they got their head on, there is no way in life that will fail. My question is, why be in one relationship struggling? Now, I'm not saying that, because you are in a monogamous relationship that you will struggle, or because you are in a polygamous relationship, you won't struggle. I am not saying that. But in my own opinion, I believe that having 1, 2, or 3 women that got their head on, we could build empires. I just believe that, and we could accomplish more, because one could stay home and, teach the children while, another is at work, while the man is at work bringing in that paper, vice versa. That's what I'm looking at. A lot of dudes look at the practice as, you know what, I just want to cheat. I just want to be all up in different coochies. No, it wasn't like that. Before we started glorifying sex, okay, it wasn't that type of practice at all. As a matter of fact, based on the studies, and a few people have actually asked about polygamy, it wasn't a thing where people was just having sex every day. No, we got into this practice because of the slave farms, where they had to breed slaves, and all people were constantly having sex to breed slaves. opposed to having sex to create what we call gods. So that is, we have to get the dynamics of how that change. So I'm not saying this or supporting polygamy for brothers to start telling their sisters, hey, you know what the chief said, you know, I could go around and bro, you ain't got nothing to bring to the table. That's not what it's about. It's about coming together and building. In my opinion, that's what it's about, you know. And if I were to ever get into a relationship, like I said, even if it started off as having one person, there would have to be the option of knowing that, you know, there will be another woman that's coming into the picture. You know what I mean? If you're going to have a problem with that, well, whatever you call cheating is going to happen. That's not what I call it, though. I call it, you know, creating my legacy. I call it building. I call it multiplying and, you know, and producing. That's what I call it, you know? So I just wanted to have that conversation because it's something I've been meaning to talk about, and a few people actually asked me about it. We already know about monogamy, so there's no sense in going into all that. I think polygamy is the big concern right here. And they're telling us that it's illegal, but yet still they picked up that practice, you know, to outpopulate us. And that's a trick again of the colonizers. You know, everything is a matter of respect. Everything is a matter of building a foundation. And I'm not talking about polygamy in the sense where, you know, I'm not talking about polygamy in the sense where a dude trying to get both his wives in the same bed. You know, that's not what I'm talking about. That is the wrong reason for doing it. Again, it's the intention, you know, trying to get two of your wives to do it together and all that. Bruh, no, that's not what it's about, man. That's not what it's about. And I'm going to be honest. I have been in polygamous relationships before. As a matter of fact, you know, well, it's been years, but I have two sets of twins, you know, and that's just my experience. And both of them, you know, I met both of them at the same time, and both of them, like they said, they fell in love. You know, it could have been infatuation, but both of them were infatuated at the same time. All right. And and I'll answer that question in a second. And when I met them and, you know, we started going out, I told them right off the bat, right off the rip, I told them, listen, I like both of y'all. If I can't take both of y'all out, then I'm not going out with anybody. I gave them the choice. I let them know my intentions. I let them know my intentions right off the back. All right. And they said it wasn't a problem. And in both situations, their only request was, as long as you don't get the both of us to try to sleep together or have us sleep in the same bed. You know what I mean? But it even got to the point where we slept in the same bed, but I respected their wishes. I didn't try to do one here and one here, or I didn't want to disrespect them like that. But it worked out just fine. And I didn't do it because of ego. That was just something that wasn't me. You know, so I tell people, you know, this is my nature. I can only speak for me. I can't speak for other dudes. You feel me? Somebody asked, are you okay with having multiple husbands in your building too? In my building, what you mean my building? Because I don't deal with dudes. What you mean? Well, I didn't mean to be funny. I'm gonna assume what you're saying. You're probably asking, like, in the building process in the community, if I'm okay with, you know, if I'm okay with women having more than one husbands. Family, I'm gonna keep it real. It's to each his own, as long as it works. Okay? Because look at the monogamous relationship nowadays. Let's keep it real, man. Let's keep it real with ourselves. How many of them are actually working? How many people you hear that are single? Huh? How many times you see a dude with a girl and he's so much in love, and then 3 months later, she's a bitch? How many times you hear girls or women in love? Oh, that's my babe, taking selfies. 3 months later, oh, that nigga. You know what I'm saying? He got a little, you know what? Like, let's be real with ourselves, man. Let's be real with ourselves, all right? I would rather put myself in a situation where I could build with respect, opposed to having all these different monogamous relationships. I would rather do that, you know, because like I said, I'm about, you know, building right now. That's what I'm about. Okay. And the way things are going, we need a new breed, a new stock, okay, of children that's going to pick up on the knowledge that everybody else seem, not that they can't get it, but they're being distracted. They're being distracted. And that's my opinion on that. In your family, can your wife have another husband? Oh, okay. I'm going to keep it real. that may be a double standard where for me, my wife, you know, no, I wouldn't want to be in a situation like that. And that's why I said it's to each his own. Okay, I could only keep it real. It's to each his own. You feel me? I cannot in my own house. No, my wife cannot bring another dude because to me that's disrespecting my kingdom. She have to create her kingdom for that. Okay, she have to create her kingdom. In her kingdom, that will be something that would be an agreement or an arrangement. So then the dudes who are coming in, okay, will be able to respect her rules, okay, or her wants or her needs. Now, don't get me wrong. If I have my home and I have my wives in my home, okay, and a woman who practiced polygamy in her own home, and she asked me to be one of her husbands, I will speak to my wives about it. And if they don't have a problem with it, I don't mind. But I wouldn't be in her house and she wouldn't be in my house because that would be a disrespect to my building or my wives. You see, there has to be, again, there has to be discipline. There have to be order. There is order in the universe. And too many of us are not keeping it real. And that's why women have men and they cheat on them. And that's why men have women and they cheat on them. It's in their nature. They're doing it anyway, but they call it cheating. You know what I'm saying? And some people even go as far as talking about, you know what? I love you. I'm not in love with you, so I'm going to do me. Basically, you are saying that you are practicing polygamy, but because of your conscience, you want to make it easier on you so you don't feel guilty. You are telling yourself those type of things. You feel me? Oh, you know what? Man, I don't want to be in no relationships right now. You know, I'm not ready to fall in love, but I'm going to do me. Men say it. Women say it. And they go around sleeping with multiple partners. That is polygamy with no structure. As a matter of fact, to me, that's more destructive than being in a relationship, you know, where you are honest and build. And that's what I'm about. To me, that's because I want to have a lot of children. I love children. In my past lives, I had a lot of children. You feel me? And that's how we make our connection, just in case we have to come back. Okay? So we have our bloodline to come to. And that's just my take and my opinion on that. You know, at the ending of the day, it's to each his own. It's what you could afford to deal with. If you can't deal with it, then it's not for you. It doesn't mean that it's immoral or it's illegal. It doesn't mean that. Because when they're teaching you how to depopulate yourself, they themselves are actually practicing what they tell you don't practice. If you realize, right, we used to have beautiful families. Okay, and a lot of times you would have a brother down the block and you don't even know. I hear you, lady. You know, you would have a brother 5 blocks away from you or a sister and you never know until your father died and all of a sudden all these children showing up. Yo, I'm your brother. Word? Yo, that's Tay. Yo, you my brother? I'm telling you, that's real. Because the man wasn't allowed to be natural, or vice versa. The woman wasn't allowed to be natural. But the only thing is, with the woman, she is put in a position now where it's hard for her to be herself. Because if she get pregnant and she with a man, he gonna know. He gonna be like, listen, bro, let me do some calculations right here. Okay, so the last time we had sex was in March, and that baby was born in such and such. Oh, nah, hell no. Now, let's talk. You see, it's harder for a woman to disguise that. You see, but a man could have his woman go cheat, and 20, 30 years later, you find out you have a brother, you have a sister. But if we were honest with each other, you see what I'm saying? Oh, it's all good, Chunky. If we were honest, are you currently living this lifestyle with your 2 sets of twins? Nah, that was back in the days. You know what I'm saying? And I only have 1 son right now. And I've been celibate for the past 3 years, and August is gonna give it 3 years, and that was my goal. So it's on, you know. But I'm still not gonna be in the practice of going around and sleeping with different women, because that's why I took that spiritual purge, because I just didn't want to be in this vagina and that vagina and that. I didn't want to do that. I needed to purge myself from that. So now that I have purged myself from that, I'm in a whole different growth in my understanding then I think I'm mature enough, to build a structure and come to an understanding that this is what we are doing. This is what we are building, and I'm not going to say it's not going to be tough. Like every relationship is tough. Being in a monogamous relationship is not different from being in a polygamous relationship. It is tough. It's about understanding. It's about communication. That's where the problem comes in, with a lack of communication. A lack of communication. Because take for instance, right? If all these so-called single women that are actually out here, right? Let's just say she was in a polygamous relationship. If that father of her child walked out, then another one of her other husbands could have stepped in and our children would have had father figures. So I'm just saying it goes both ways. It goes both ways. It is just a matter of keeping it real. All right. And that's what to me it's about. It's not about the fetishes or the fixes. It's not about that, because getting sex nowadays is the easiest thing, because they have demonized it so much and got it so much on a low frequency that people are literally creating and having zombies. Now, don't when I say zombie, I'm not calling our children zombies. I'm talking about the Walking Dead. Children who are born, into a low frequency environment. And it's not fair to those children. It is not fair to those children. So I believe that every child deserves to have a feminine principle in their life, or a father figure, or a mother figure in their lives. So if a woman is in a relationship and the father decides to, what, I'm going to bounce, I'm going to do what I got to do, then here's another husband in her relationship, okay, in her structure, that could pick up and raise those children. You know what I mean? And I think we'll have more of a productive society when it comes to our children, and that is just my opinion on that. My mother messed with 3 men and had 3 kids by them. Yeah, and Julian, it is what it is. It is what it is. I would rather us to stop calling it cheating, because it's not cheating. That is what they taught us. That is what they taught us. And we cannot say that let us forget some of the things they are saying, or they are telling us, because it's a lie. But yet still, when it comes to certain other things, we try to be hypocritical about it. And that's just not right. I believe it's fair for everyone to say that, this is not my thing. I can't deal with it, and much respect. And I believe that should be the approach. That should be the approach. But speaking for myself, as a man who's going to keep it real, if I were to engage with any woman, I would let her know, whatever you call cheating is not cheating to me. It's called me having more children, okay? And me just being natural in my nature. And that's who I am, okay? And that's what it is. If you could deal with it, great. If you can't, you can't. But honesty, to me, is the best policy, because at the ending of the day, even if somebody gets mad at you, they can't say that you didn't keep it real. Now, they may be mad at you and don't want to take responsibility, but your conscience is always going to be clear. All right? Your intent were put forth. All right? And you just have to keep it real with yourself. I think it would be a more tightly knit society as well. I believe so as well. I believe so as well. I honestly believe so, because it takes a village. Okay, it takes a village to raise children. It really does, because we need help, family. We need help, because we have to go back to a society where we have to teach our own children. And it's hard on a single mom. It's hard on a single dad. It's hard on the woman that's in a relationship where a dude is being abusive, but because she loved the dude, she don't want to get out of it. But if there's another husband in the picture, and there's an understanding that that's what it is, another man got to think of, I got another dude to worry about, or I got 2 other husbands who are on the same accord to worry about. So now I got to respect that woman. Now again, it may seem disgusting to you guys, but you know what? It is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. It has to be structure. It's about growing up and coming into who you are. That's what it is. And like I said, going back to the question about, would I have my wife with different husbands in my home? No, I wouldn't. You see, but it doesn't mean that if my wives, and I will give them the respect so that they would give me the permission. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna keep it that. I'm gonna keep it real. I would ask for their permission, or I would ask, you know, I would ask them if it's okay. There's another woman, you know what I mean, and she has, you know, multiple husbands, but she want to know if I could, you know, be one of her husbands or father one of her children. And I would speak to her, and if my wife say yes, cool. If they say no, then I'm not gonna do it, because to me, at some point, they have to have some kind of boundaries. There have to be some kind of respect, you know, for the people that you're with. So that's just my take on that. All right. So I don't want, you know, if a lot of, so you guys listen. So let us see if we could get some people, all right, in the chat to ask some questions, or who actually oppose, you know, polygamy. Let us see if we have it, because so far it seems like everybody's agreeing, you know. And let us see if we have anybody in the chat that's going to give a different opinion on that, you know. But at the end of the day, family, I believe that, honestly, I believe it's something that we need to get into. But it has to, there have to be structure. I personally believe there have to be structure. Okay, it has always been part of our existence, whether it may be, no matter what tribe you came from. Okay, as a matter of fact, in I think Varazona, when he went back to France and he wrote the King, he also wrote in his memoirs that he met chiefs with their wives, you know. So it has been part of our culture, you know what I mean. And to believe certain things that they say about us and not believe other things, then again, to me, it's being in denial, you know what I mean. You're absolutely, it's a part of, you have to eat right, you know. You have to eat right. And you know, that's, you know, our body is a temple. And remember, everything that you are taking in, even, it's not just eating, even your thoughts, the music you listen to is a form of eating. Okay, those are vibrations, that's energy. All right. You know, certain environments that you are always around, it's a sense of, eating energy as well. So it's not just with the foods, but also your thoughts, what you listen to. We have to try our best to get our temple as pure as possible. And that is one of the goals, you know. That is one of the goals, because I believe that, you know, where there is more than one income, you know, we could build faster, you know. Because you going around asking people, you know what, let us practice group economy, you know, group, you know, economics, you know. It's just so hard getting people to practice it. No, my thing is, if you don't want to practice it, man, and we, you know, people don't want to come together as a people to build, then I'm going to build with my wives, you know, because I know with me and my wives, we could practice group economics. That's just what it is. Because you have to create your own system, you know, that's going to work for you. That's what you have to do. And whether you may be a man or a woman, just be honest about it and be mature about it. And realize that sometimes in life, and you see, another thing that I believe that a lot of people need to grow into is realizing that everybody weren't meant to be in your life forever. That is just facts, and that is just nature. Some people came in your life for a reason and for a season. Some people came in your life forever. You know, it's only humans, what they call humans, are the only ones, when they break up, all of a sudden that person is a bitch. All of a sudden that person is a dog or a nigger. Why do we have to go there though? Because all of a sudden you up in your feelings. Why you up in your feelings? You know, it is what it is. Again, go back to nature. Look at the animals. You see, I don't see a female lion, you know, talking about, you know, well, he left me, he's a nigger lion. No, she move on. And I don't see a male dog talking about, which is really what a bitch is, a female dog. I don't see a male dog talking about, yo, that's a bitch. You know, no. They move on. They do what they got to do. And sometimes even if they meet up again, they still mate. But it's only humans, all right? We are supposed to be the most intelligent. You know, when you and somebody don't work out, you have to, why do you have to hate them? Why they have to be so much animosity? And then all of a sudden you're on a binge of, oh, I gotta hurt you, vindictive, I gotta see you break, to the extent where women are literally sending brothers to jail, and vice versa. Some dudes do it too. because you hate them so much because things didn't work out. Like, family, we have to grow up, man. We have to grow up. You know, take responsibility. Be responsible. Be mature enough. Okay, you know what? We give it all our best. We give it our shot. We did what we could. It didn't work out. Let's just move on. We ain't got to be best friends, but we could be cordial. As a matter of fact, we ain't even got to deal with each other. But let us not disrespect each other. You know? And even making it worse, if we have children, even better yet, for us to be cordial. But people who are in these relationships that supposedly end on bad terms, they let the children suffer because of their selfish needs. Because of their selfish needs. And that's why so many children are so dysfunctional. Because if they see that, okay, you know what, mom and dad did try, but it just didn't work out, then they would be more inclined to find out what the mistakes were and make it work. Because at least they say, you know what, mom and dad didn't work out, but at least I know I grew up with a mother and a father. But when they're growing up with only a mother or only a father, then guess what, family? Come on, we're not doing justice to our children. We're not doing justice to our children. And polygamy ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm just speaking in general. In general, in terms of the way we treat each other and the way we relate to each other. You know, Mo Midi said, Chief, do you think it's wrong for a family of this lifestyle to be recluse and semi-introverted due to the social context of the practice? Family, you're gonna have to break that down to me. Too many big words. Like, you know, you starting to sound like polite. But you know, break it down for me a little, please. All right, break it down a little for me. That's Mo Midi. Break it down for me. You know, but you know, I know a lot. They tell you they make it illegal in our society, but really, you have the right. Okay, you have the right to self-identify. Okay, you have the right to practice your culture. These people came and took our culture away from us. And I'm not saying polygamy was the culture. No, we just had a culture where within the culture, there was monogamy and there was polygamy. Okay? But they took that away from us, all right? And told us that aspect of our culture is illegal or immoral. But that's what they use to populate our land. So you have to see the reverse psychology in that. You have to see the reverse psychology in that. But being indigenous to any land, as the indigenous inhabitants of the land, before the conqueror came, you were practicing whatever you were practicing, you have the right to practice it because it's part of your culture. Okay? So you have the right to do that. They're asking if they have to hide their relationships. No, absolutely not. And for me, I wouldn't hide mine. No, I wouldn't hide mine. I would be proud of it. And not because of now it's okay, fam, it's all right, you know, let's keep it, you know, no, it's cool, let's, you know, let's keep it real. You don't have to hide it. You don't have to keep it low key. You don't, you know, if remember, your family may not know what's best for you. At the ending of the day, like I've mentioned in videos before, only you could save yourself. Too many times we try to please our families, okay? And they walk away and abandon us, you know, when you could have been doing you to make you happy. It's what's best for you and your family. Now that you're grown, you have to walk away from your family to create your own family. You feel me? It doesn't mean that you have to disconnect or not communicate. I am not saying that. But let them know this is my life. It ain't got nothing to do with you. How is your monogamous relationship working for you? Because you got 10 baby daddies. Or some dude who, look at you, bruh. You got children, you ain't taking care of your children. Or it could be, you know what? Hey, I see you in a monogamous relationship. It's working for you. I'm happy for you. Great. But this is not for me. All right? This is not my thing. You know, my thing is I want to be with more than one wife, or I want to be with more than one husband. In a woman's case, you could call me a whore. You could call me a thought, whatever you want to call me. That's your thing. Okay? That's your thing. but I know what's best for me. You see, I know what's best for me because if you look, how many of our women are struggling? Fathers are not around. Okay, and don't get me wrong, it's not because they're not practicing polygamy. It's about responsibility. So at the end of the day, it's all about responsibility, being responsible for our own actions. That's what it's about, in my opinion. All right. So some people wanted my perspective on that, and I've been told y'all I would talk about it, but I was just waiting for the right moment to talk about it. And that's just my take on it. You know, do you, but do it with respect. You know, make sure there's a structure, make sure there's a foundation. You know, come together, have a blueprint. You know, you may start off with one wife or one husband. You know, that may be the case, but have an open dialogue to be honest. Like, you know what, babe, whether you may be a male or a female, you know what, babe, this is where my head is at with this. Okay, I have a plan. You know, we got to build, we got to create a legacy, we got to do something. Look at what's happening around us. You know, we have to change that paradigm. You know what I mean? And I know we're starting off just us. We're going to build the foundation. And, you know, I want to introduce another husband, or I want to introduce another wife eventually. You know what I mean? Communicate, talk, you know, and see what works for you. It's the same way about going on different dates. When you go on different dates, isn't that what you do? You go through a process of elimination. Okay, you know what? Man, I ain't like that dude. I got another date next week. Your girl be like, hey girl, how it went? Nah, I ain't feeling him like that though. You know what I'm saying? But yo, we did it, you know? And then 2 months later, another dude. What happened to that dude? Oh yeah, he was cool, man, you know, but like, you know, I like him. You know, I mean, he's smart, but he ain't hood enough. You know what I'm saying? So nah. And then you get a dude that's hood. You know, he hood, but man, listen, he already got 4 baby mamas, but he ain't taking care of them. But yo, I gave him some though. Yo, he got the bomb. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to get away from all that, man. You know, we got to start growing up, and vice versa. Dudes do it too, because I hear dudes talk about it. I'd be like, yo, bro, what's up if I'm such and such? Man, you know, she hype, man. You know what I'm saying? Yo, man, you know, the head was hype. You know what I mean? But nah, you know, but people do it all the time. So the same process, you could deal with the same process. Okay, it's a process of elimination. It doesn't mean that you have to go sleep with different people to find out what mates that's going to work with you and for you. Okay, you could tell from their state of mind. You could tell from knowing from them. If you're spiritually inclined and with yourself, you could see things in them. Okay, you could see things in them and know things about them. And that's how you pick your mate, whether you in a monogamous relationship or a polygamous relationship. Okay, it's all about communication and respect. Anybody have any more questions, answers, any suggestions? You know, drop it. You know, let's dialogue. You know, let's dialogue. Let's talk about it. You know, try to see if we could do this for another 15 minutes and wrap it up. But family, again, you know, let's respect each other. Regardless in what relationship that you are in, respect. You know, don't allow your emotions to get the best of you. I am not saying be emotionless. No, I'm not saying that, because love is an emotion. Hate is also an emotion. You know, so, you know, we have to be able to find that balance where if you and somebody, you guys are working out, that's great. But if at some point the relationship don't work out, let us see how we could find ways, you know, where we could walk away from each other, you know, without the abuse, you know, without the hatred, without the animosity. Let's see how we could do that. And that's when, you know, you start growing up, when you start trying to make, you know, peace with the people that you didn't work out with, you know. I love what you got to say, nothing but the truth. Well, you know, Jonathan, my brother, you know, I try to keep it real, man. You know, I try to keep it real, and I'll be honest. You know, I tell folks like this: in my household, or in my household where, well, let's put it that way, in the household where my wives and I we are at, okay, another dude is not welcome in my domain. That's just real talk. You know, another dude is not welcome in my domain. However, another woman is free to have her domain and run her kingdom or her queendom the way she chooses. It's to each his own. I know what I can deal with. You see? And that's what it all boils down to at the end of the day. What can you deal with? I cannot deal with it with another man in my crib. Because if he try to disrespect any one of my wives, then there's going to be problems. You feel me? So that's why a woman needs her own structure, and where she have her own husbands, and if one get out of line, then the other one could step in and regulate. You know what I mean? And vice versa. I will not bring women into my home that my women don't agree to or they can't get along with. You know? So that's just what it is for me, man. That's just what it is for me, because I want to have more children. And I don't want to feel like, you know, hey, Selma, greetings, greetings, greetings. I don't want to put myself in a position where I'm gonna handicap my nature just because I feel society want to put me in a box. You know, it's too much of judging people. You know, if we're gonna allow people to be who they are, you know, let their judgment be themselves, because that's what it's all about. We set up our own karma. You know, there's nobody judging anybody, but we are always judging people. And yes, I am guilty of that as well. But I am also growing. I am growing, and I'm learning not to judge people, you know, realizing that they're gonna be them anyway, but know that their own karma is based on the intent of their heart. And we have to grow away from, we have to start growing up, being mature about things. All right. Be mature about things and keep it real with each other. We have to keep it real. All right. So that's just my take on that. That's where I'm at with it. You know, I know to get in any kind of relationship, whether it may be a monogamous relationship or a polygamous relationship, you have to have foundation. You have to have foundation. You have to build. And it doesn't necessarily mean that person already have to have a house or that person already have to have a car. It doesn't mean that. It is the same approach as a monogamous relationship. But most times when people get together, they don't have a car. They don't have a home, but they come together in hoping to build, to come together, to put their resources together to accomplish those things. And my goal is, to me, having a great understanding. Well, I have 1, 2, or 3 wives coming into that same situation where we all bring our resources together. Guess what? We already 3, 4 steps ahead than somebody in a monogamous relationship that's starting off with nothing, the same way we started off with nothing. But at least we got 3 people that got, let's say, $5 a piece, you know, plus my $5, that's $20, opposed to 2 people with 5 and 5. It's a matter of how you invest what you have and how you make it grow and multiply. So that's where my head is at with that, because I'm just tired of looking around and having to, you know, exert so much energy waking folks up. I mean, I'm still gonna do what I have to do. You know, it's what I love. It's my passion. But at the end of the day, I have to build my structure so that I know for sure, you know, in my growth and in the truth I'm growing into, that the children that I'm bringing into the world, they also grow into that truth so that they could improve on it when my physical body is gone. You know what I mean? So that's it for me. That's my mentality on that. All right. Family, I got like 10 more minutes. So if anybody have any questions, you know, any comments, you know, feel free to drop it. You know, we talking, you know, we having a conversation here right now. You know, it's about keeping it real with ourselves, keeping it real with the people that you're with, you know, because sometimes you may end up in a relationship, you may not even know the dude is cheating. And my thing is, as a guy, you know, why be in a relationship and do what you call cheating on your woman when you got in the relationship in the first place with the intent of letting her know it will just be her? You don't do stuff like that. You know, you don't do stuff like that, man. And that's just keeping it real. You don't do that. And that's what caused women to be bitter, because of the lying, you know, because of the lying. Because if you are told the truth, then even if she got mad, the only person she could get mad at is herself, because you told her the truth. But at least you know you spoke the truth. But when you lie to the woman, oh, it's just you, babe, and you know, vice versa, when you lie to the man, But when you lie to your partner and you letting them think it's just them and they find out, that's how people kill people, man. And I'm not suggesting you go out there and kill people. I'm not saying that, because I don't want nobody to say the chief tell people to go kill people because they're cheating. You know how some people get. I'm not saying that. All right. But look at these monogamous relationships, and it could happen in polygamy too. But a lot of these monogamous relationships people are in, they cheating on each other. And then when you find out, you have all these hate crimes, crimes of passion. And it could also happen in polygamous relationship, but at least you know that you were in one, opposed to being betrayed. You see, it's the betrayal that hurts the partner. It's the lie, and then people set out to have revenge, to hurt people, to destroy people, to kill people, and they themselves, it takes them a while to heal, to come back, to emotionally heal. But to me, all those things could be avoided, if you keep it real, be honest. And of course, people could still get hurt in any kind of relationship. That's just the potential of the relationship. That's just what it is. But at least if you're going to be honest with yourself, you'll say, you know what, at least I knew what I was getting into. I knew what I was getting into. All right. So family, we got 7 more minutes. Still waiting to see if anybody got any more comments, if anybody got any questions, any suggestions, any build on that. Again, anybody who disagree, drop your opinion and why you disagree. Why you disagree. Okay. Because we have to get it together, man. Whether it may be in a monogamous relationship or a polygamous relationship, we have to get it together. There have to be mutual respect. Whatever the conditions are, the one that you decide to get in, respect it. Okay? Respect it. If you are in a monogamous relationship and you feel like you want to cheat, let the person know. Say, listen, I know I've been with you for such and such a long time, but this is what I'm getting the urge to do. And if you can't hold out, let them know that you can, and let them know you're going to step out, or ask them how they would feel about it. You feel me? But don't do it behind their back. That, to me, that's not right. Okay? That is not right. So with that being said, I am getting ready to shut this down. Even if I said we had 6 more minutes, I don't want to just keep rambling because I've made my point. Once again, I thank you guys for, tuning in. Thank you guys for, giving your opinion, your comments. Thanks for the questions. It's always a pleasure, building, with the fam. And don't forget, family, let's get our affairs in order. All right. Let's get our affairs in order, and let's come to a place where we need to, let us stop judging each other. I appreciate that, more media. I appreciate that, family. Just or having open dialogue. Because it's all about, you see, we don't talk enough. We don't say how much we feel enough. And all these suppressed feelings and hurt or joy, whether it may be joy, because suppressed feelings doesn't necessarily always have to be hurt. It could be joy. Share your joy with the world. Share your smiles with the world, because when you are happy, people who are genuinely, nice. Well, I'm not going to use the word nice, because nice is not a etymology of the nice word of nice is not a good word anyway. So I'm not going to use nice, but people who are genuinely, genuine people, when you are happy, they are happy for you. And that's just the honest truth. They're just happy for you. So, share your joy. Also share your pain. I'm not saying you have to share it with the world, but find a group of people that you could share your pain with, so that you could start the process of healing. Because too many of us, we have been hurt so much, and we have been through so much, through colonization, paper genocide, in every facet, of the word, and in relationships, amongst ourselves and other ethnic groups. I mean, I'm just saying, family, we have been through a lot. And at some point, we have to start a process of healing. I think we need a retreat where groups of people just need to go and hug and cry and just forgive each other, man. We have to do that. Yes, indeed. It's time to be open and free. Absolutely. I agree with that. I totally agree. And, let us be mature about it. But we have to start the process of healing. We have to. You know, we have to. Too many of us are walking around with hurt feelings. And you know what happened? Hurt people hurt people. And I have seen it over and over and over again. And I'm asking men out there, I'm asking my brothers out there, take it from a father who have been down the road. Regardless of whatever the situation is, don't walk away from your children. You know, don't walk away from them. It doesn't matter what you have to put up with. It doesn't matter what you have to go through. Okay? Don't walk away from your children. Because at the ending of the day, they will grow up and know, regardless of what my father was going through, he was there for me. Okay? Vice versa with women. But it's normally the other way around. So that's why I spoke to the brothers. But the same thing with the women. Don't walk away from your children if the situation was reversed. But I have some advice for my sisters. If you and your boyfriend or husband or significant other or your baby father, whichever way you want to, term your relationship, if it didn't work out, allow the man to be a father to his child if he wants to be. Allow him. Don't let your hurt feelings get in the way of depriving your children of having a father in their lives. No, because you're only thinking about yourself. You are not thinking about what y'all came together to produce. You see, you're not thinking about that. You're thinking about your hurt feelings and not thinking about your children. And all I have to ask is, how have that worked out for us on a global scale? And I'm not talking about, individual situations or sporadic situations where it worked out just fine. But let us talk about on a whole. And of course, based on what we are seeing in public, a lot of, for the most part, a lot of children who grow up in dysfunctional homes become dysfunctional. And it's not always the case, but it happens. And I just think it's happening too often. So please, I'm asking, work it out. Work it out. You may not work out, but come to some mutual agreement with your significant other or the person you had a child with, whether it may have been the man or the woman on the reverse. Because when you were having your children and having sex and screaming, "Oh God, Jesus is so good," the family courts wasn't there. The police wasn't there. You know what I mean? When you caught that high and you start, "Oh, you're about to get there," you didn't say, "Oh my God, family court, the police, where you at?" You didn't say that. So I'm asking you, how come when you get into situations, the family court got to settle it? Why is that the police got to settle it? You know what? That is just emotions. That is just your feelings. So let us start growing up. Let us start being the adults that we aspire to be. Let us start growing. And with that being said, it's 5:30. We've been talking for an hour and a half. I'm about to get out of here. I thank each and every one of you for your time. Again, I appreciate your energy, and please share the information. And this wasn't a conversation in terms of whether it was moral or not, or illegal or not. It is not illegal. It's not immoral. It's a matter of, in closing, I would say it's a matter of what works best for you. Let's be honest. Even if you are in a monogamous relationship, be honest with your partner. If you are in a polygamous relationship, be honest with your partner. Just keep it real. Everybody's always asking people to keep it 100, but they don't do it. Always asking people to keep it real, but they don't do it. So let us start the art of keeping it real. All right. Hey, Shelly, thank you. No problem. I appreciate your time as well. All right. So family, don't forget the GoFundMe link is below. Support the GoFundMe. And I will talk to you guys soon. I'm about to get me something to eat. I'm going to actually sun gaze. As you can see, the sun is coming through. So I'm going to catch it before it go down. I'm going to go sun gaze for like about maybe half an hour to 40 minutes. And then I'll go eat something. But first, I got to get that soul food. Not that SOUL, but that SOL. All right, because that's where they got that concept from. That's what we used to eat, that soul food, that SOL. And they They just messed us up and give us these chitlins and, you know, this fried pork and all that and this grease. They give you soul food, SOUL, killing our people out there. All right. All right. Mo said, keep the bread fresh, fam. No doubt. Keep it 100, family. That's what it's about, man. I'm telling you, man. I always come with, you know, to you guys trying to keep it 100. Always come to you guys with love and high energy. You know what I mean? We are gonna be all right, man. No matter what they do, they cannot keep us down because it's in our nature to rise. You know, we fell before, and we rose and we fell and we're gonna rise again. That's just who we are, man. That's in our nature. It's in our DNA, and they can't stop us. No matter what they do, they can't stop us. You feel me? So we're gonna be all right. Let's just continue to vibe. Let's just continue to rise. Let's just continue to be on that high frequency. Don't get me wrong. Every day you wouldn't be feeling your 100. It's okay. But that's why we have brothers and sisters that's gonna help us pick up ourselves when we feel a little down, you know? And that's what it's all about. It's all about love and respect, a mutual respect for each other. Let us go back to when we used to walk in the streets and see our sisters and call them, you know, queens and, you know, well, you guys use goddesses. I don't use that, but you know, if that's what you feel like using to show them that you put them on that pedestal. Let us start, you know, taking out the word bitch and hoes and thoughts to address our women. Okay, let us stop that. Let us start respecting them more. Sisters respect the brothers. Brothers respect the sisters. It's too much bitterness amongst ourselves. It's just too much. All right, we have to learn to love again, and that's what's gonna heal the nation. Love. And once we start loving again, when you hurt, I hurt. And when I hurt, you hurt. When you could feel my pain and when I could feel your pain, that's when we're going to be on the verge, okay? On the very verge of becoming a people again. All right? So I love you guys, and I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you to everybody for tuning in, and I guess I will see you guys on the other side. You know what I mean? Peace and love. One love, family. All right? Peace.